Good morning, everybody. I'm Adam Gonzalez, and I welcome you to today's broadcast of the information that we're going to be providing, some tools that we have here on our website, and would really, wanted you guys to know that they're available for everybody to use. As you have heard already, we've gone through some transition, some staffing transition here at COSTEP. And as you can see on your screen right now, we have Mr. Rick Carrera, who's the Director of Economic Development. And I'll let him, he started with COSTEP back in June. So I'll let him introduce our guest that's going to be speaking to us from GIS. And Rick, you have the floor.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, Adam. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, y'all, for being here. I know there's lots going on today, and I know time is always precious, but I know you'll find this to be very value added. I think this will be a great session for you to be a part of. For those who don't know, on our COSTEP website, and the presenter here will get to this in a second, in our website, we've had embedded in that website for quite some time now some tools that you as an economic developer would find very useful. The problem is they've been buried. You kind of had to know a few different clicks to get to where they're at and that kind of thing. And we've besides myself, Mr. Rafael Tapia, who was the longtime successful director of Alamo EDC, is now with us, and his feedback and input from us has led to us kind of putting that front and center on our website. And there's a good reason for that, because we think that's going to be the most value added for you when you come to our website as an economic developer. That being said, I know we're going to try to limit this to an hour because of everybody's time. And I know there's other functions going on today that some of y'all may need to, as soon as this is over, kind of steal away to go do or attend. But nevertheless, by all means, if you have any questions, we'll open up to some Q&A at the end. I'm always available here. If y'all need my contact information, you can just message me on the side. If not, we'll put it on the website. But we're here for questions. The one prevailing thing I want everybody to take away from this, one is the functionality and how well this works, and two is the fact that COSTEP is here to help you as an economic developer achieve what you need to achieve. And if we can help you with some shortcomings that perhaps you have because of resources, time, what have you, by all means, reach out to us and let us know how we can help. That being said, I will turn the floor over to Ms. Kathy Becker. Kathy's with us. She's our GIS person. She knows this software platform like the back of her hand. And I won't go into too long of an introduction, Kathy. I'll let you have the floor and take it away. Let everybody kind of wow us with the capabilities of these software. And again, guys, let me forecast again, this is on our website, guys. If you click, things that she's going to be walking through, you just do the clicks on our website and you will have access to this. Go ahead, Kathy.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And I just would like to thank Adam and Rick for inviting me to be with you and to share with you many of the benefits of this online site selection technology that they provide to you as a benefit to their friends and partners of COSTEP. It's very forward-thinking of them to provide these tools on their website, making them publicly available to online site selectors, to community members, to partners, to friends, all within the economic development community. These tools really help to advance and speed up the work that you're doing. They provide ready answers to questions that you're seeking answers for. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about our company and myself and our technology and a little bit of background there. I'm Kathy Becker, and I'm the Director of Customer Success with GIS WebTech. And we provide this technology, the online site selection technology that COSTEP licenses. The name of that technology is Guru. Now, GIS WebTech is the fastest growing technology provider for economic development. We specifically deal with economic development. Our company started in 2016. Our first technology came out in 2017. We started with 5 customers. We're now over 200 customers. Last year, we launched our latest technology, which is called Guru, and that's the technology I'm going to be showing you today. And it's designed for your use. COSTEP licenses Guru for your benefit, and this technology sits on their website. I'm going to share my screen in just a minute and show you how you and the whole world globally can access this technology to find available properties in your communities, to find available properties in the COSTEP region. They can investigate demographics, workforce data, all those important factors when making a location decision. All that data is available within Guru. So without further ado, I am going to share my screen. Also turning off my camera. Let's show my screen. Okay, great. So now you should all be looking at COSTEP's homepage. They've done a great job. Rick alluded to the fact that they've actually had this technology available for a little while, but hadn't really yet marketed it. And with the new team that has come into COSTEP, they really want to make this available and share this with you, which is why we're having this meeting today, so that you know what's here available for you. And you also are aware of what's available to online site selectors who are interested in locating in the COSTEP region. So the first thing they're going to do when they're investigating for available properties is come to websites. They will come to the COSTEP website if they're particularly interested in the whole region, the COSTEP region. And when they do, they see lots of great information about the region, but they also front and center see a click to find properties. Find a property. When you click on this link, it will immediately open to our technology. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you'll notice when I do that a new page opens up, and this is our technology here, and it's called Guru. You can see that our technology is very clean and easy to use. It is really designed to be similar to many of the apps that you and site selectors and consumers all over the world are able to do, whether that's Zillow or Airbnb. These types of GIS technologies are just growing in use. Being able to really visualize data is a huge help when making location decisions, whether it's buying a home, locating a business, or renting an Airbnb. It's important to know where those properties are located. So as you can see here in the technology, we've got the properties listed on the left-hand side, and on the map are icons that are showing us where the properties are located. Okay, so one thing that you may want to know right away is, okay, so this is great. We've got properties. You can see up here at the top, there's 690 properties included here. Where do these properties come from? And that would be a great question. The properties included in COSTEP, they actually license from a third-party property data provider that syncs property data. This property data provider actually scrapes property data off of brokerage sites. So your local brokers, whether they're with Coldwell Banker or CBRE, some large brokerage firm, or even smaller firms, the property data provider takes that data that's uploaded on these brokerage websites, consolidates it, provides us with an API, and we sync that into the technology. What that means is that you have confidence of knowing that the data provided here is updated and it's well maintained. So it's a really great benefit to know that you can come here without any expensive license on your own and see real-time information of what properties are available. And this is going to mimic what your community has on their local brokerage sites. So that's wonderful. Now, another aspect of property is you may have properties in your community that are not listed with a commercial brokers association. If that's the case, those properties can still be included in Guru so that they appear here and are available to site selectors to view and investigate. And if you want to have those properties added to the technology, just reach out to Rick. I believe you all have his contact information, and he would be happy to take that information from you and ensure that it gets uploaded in the technology, because the third-party property data provider, they're scraping commercial brokerage firm sites, so they're not necessarily going to be able to pick up those privately listed properties or city-owned or county-owned properties, what have you, that may be out there that you want to make sure are available for people to see. I mean, really, one of the amazing things about this technology is it really levels the playing field. It allows small rural communities to have the same exposure as larger communities. And that really helps the entire region of COSTEP by providing the same benefits for the smaller, less populated areas as are provided to the larger, more populated areas. And it's just, it's a wonderful way of really making sure there's equity around the entire region. So, okay. So one other thing that I want to mention to you is that up here at the top, if you come to the COSTEP website to view available properties, but you want to get back to the COSTEP main page, easy to do that by clicking on the logo here or by using any of these links, which just link directly back to the associated pages of COSTEP's website. One other thing I want to mention to you is up here on the upper right, there's a Guru Help. As I said, Guru is the name of the technology. Help, that just lets you know that this is our help portal. So if you come to the technology and you have any questions, maybe you've forgotten exactly how to filter for a property or how to do something, if you click on that Guru Help, that opens up our help portal in a new tab, and you can view very, very quick, short help articles. Most of these are videos. If you wanted to learn more about how to search for properties, you can just click on that topic, open up, and you'll see a very short video reviewing how to answer any of those questions that you have. So it's really a great facts sheet for you. So again, that's here, accessible to everyone. All right, so let's keep moving through, and let's talk about searching for properties. So there are three basic ways that a visitor to the technology can search for properties. That's using the map, scrolling the infinite scroll bar, and using filters. So let's go through those one by one in more detail. Guru has a default option that allows you to use the map as a search tool. And what I mean by that is you can scroll into an area on the map. Let's say we want to scroll into this area right here. As you scroll in, you'll notice that the properties in the property listing panel, which used to say 600 and I think 90 is what it was, now down to 23, just showing you these 23 properties on the map. So that's the first way that you can use the map as a searching tool. And you'll notice also that the properties, to keep the map from looking like an eye chart with 690 individual property icons, they're actually clustered until you scroll into a level that they decluster. So now we've scrolled in to Rio Grande City, and you can see that these properties have declustered. You can actually click on individual property icons to see the underlying property details. You can also click to view details, and those details will open up in the listing panel. So now we've got these 9 properties here and 9 properties in the property listing panel. Now, if you want to very quickly go back to the whole region, you scrolled in, but now you kind of want to see the whole region, here on the right-hand side of a map is a home button. And this is the quickest way to get back to the entire map view. And I'm just going to click that. and we come back immediately to the default map view, and all 690 properties are listed on the left-hand side. So just remember, if you quickly want to navigate back to view all properties when you're using the map as a search tool, select this home button from the right-hand side. I did want to mention to you that if anyone has questions while I'm speaking, Rick is going to act as a moderator of sorts, and you can, if you want to put questions into the chat, you know, you've got a burning question that can't wait until the end, please do that. Put a question into the chat, and Rick will jump in and let me know what that question is so I can answer it to you on the fly. Otherwise, feel free to you know, save those to the end and we can go through those at the end. Okay, so you can use the map as a search tool. Additionally, you can scroll through the listing panel and view all 690 properties. What you'll notice is there's no next button. Our technology does not include a next button. All the properties are loaded here. And the reason is that studies have shown that nobody, when people do Google searches, nobody clicks that next button to see what's on the second page of the Google search. People look at the first page. And we want to make sure that all properties have equal opportunity here. So there's no next button, which would deter someone from looking at all the properties. So there's an infinite scroll. You never have to worry about hitting next. You'll notice here, as I hover over this property thumbnail, I don't know if you can see that the property icon on the map turns blue to indicate where that property is located. So now I'm going to move up to this property, and you can see the property icon on the map. So that's a nice little feature. As you're scrolling the properties, you can see very quickly where each property is by the blue highlighted icon. All right, I'm scrolling back up. Now, third way that you can search for properties is, of course, by using filters. And this is something that you're all familiar using filters to refine your search. Up here, you can search by keyword, meaning you could enter a property address. Let's say you're looking for a specific property. You know, when you want to pull it up quickly, you can enter the address or part of the address here. I will just make note that it is key sensitive. So if you were to spell something differently or shorten something, it may, you know, you actually want to use the shortest or the most easily accessible. So maybe that's, if the property address is 6431, all you would need to do is enter 6431 here, and that property address would immediately, you know, populate here. Or maybe the road name, if it happened to be a unique road name. If you entered Main Street in here, you might get a 15 or 20, you know, depending on how many properties are actually located on a main street. But, you know, so you can be more specific in your search here to find the property you're looking for. Additionally, if you click on filters, you can use the filter menu for advanced searching. As you see, you can do one click and you can search for all the properties within the COSTEP region that are located within a federal opportunity zone. Just one click and I can see that there's 131 properties within a federal opportunity zone. You can also filter by area using a drawing tool. So if I select this tool, I can drop points around a specific area and just filter and view the properties located within that area. So I've closed my shape by double clicking, and you'll see that there's 48 properties within this shape that I drew. And I can scroll in if I want and view those in more detail. So that's another way that you can search. I'm going to clear that filter. You can search by property type. You can select to view sites only or buildings only if you're just looking specifically for one type of property. The default is all, so you'll see everything when you first log in, all sites and all buildings together, unless you specify just one or the other. Additionally, there's many subtypes that you can choose from. You can choose to view healthcare or hospitality, and various other subtypes. You can view multiple subtypes. So if you want to view healthcare, you can select that. You'll see we get down to 6 properties. We can add maybe office on top of that, and we're now at 112 properties. And let's say we also want to see retail, because these are sort of all connected a little bit. So by selecting all 3 of those, you get to see the maximum number of properties that might be applicable to the search you're looking for. I'm just going to close those out. You can also search by size of the property. So you can put in a minimum, or you can put a min and a max. Let's say you're looking for a property that's at least 5 acres, but no more than 20 acres. You can enter that search criteria in and very quickly see the properties that meet your search criteria here. There's 62 properties. Now let's say you want to further this and select, okay, between 5 and 20 acres, but I also want to make sure that I'm in a specific county. I'm looking in, let's say, Starr County. So we'll add that filter, and now we see that there's 3 properties right here. So you can investigate these properties. It's very easy to use these search filters. You can bunch them all up and add as many filters as you want. You can very quickly clear your filters up here with this clear button within the filters menu. You can also clear over here. There's 2 places that you can clear. And just to finish showing you some of the filters that are available, of course, multiple ways you can filter by location, by city or zip code or street, and also by price. If sales price is an important limiting factor in your search, you can enter sales or lease price min and max to create your filters. If you've got any questions about filters, just go ahead and enter that in the chat. I'd be happy to answer. And Rick, just jump in if anyone has questions. All right,
We're good so far. No questions. No, I don't have any questions either. We're doing great. Okay,
terrific. Okay, so I am going to close my, well, actually, I want to show you a filtered search example and how you could share that, because if someone were to contact your office, or you're looking for a property and you want to share your filtered search, as in the example I just shared with you, but you want to share it with a colleague, or you want to share it with a prospect who's contacted your office, let's go through and do one of these searches. So I'm going to search for a site, and I'm going to search for, let's just do a minimum of 10 acres. Let's see what we get up to. We're down to 33 properties. Okay, so if someone wants to be within the COSTEP region, really anywhere within the COSTEP region, and they are looking for a site that's at least 10 acres, we've done our search. Now you want to share this with someone to say, hey, these are the 33 properties that meet the search criteria. How do you share this search result with someone? Very, very easily. I'm just going to close my filters menu. You'll notice over here, there's a share link. I'm going to select the share link. When I do, a unique bit.ly link is developed. I can just copy this link, drop it into an email, a document, share it with a colleague or prospect. When they click on that link, they will open up to a unique, a live installation of Guru, and they'll be able to see this exact page view. So if I copy that, drop it into the email, the recipient clicks on it, they're going to open to this exact page. So this is so much better than sharing a PDF map of where these properties are located with an attached list, because when they have this link, they can actually do further investigation. They can open up the property thumbnails, they can do further analysis, they can move around and view on the map, they can adjust the filters if they want. So it's really helpful to be able to share a live link that they can interact with, as opposed to just a plain old PDF sheet of paper that shows them something static. So that's
Yeah, I've got a quick question for you.
yes.
So the property, like I said, this has scrubbed, you know, the software has scrubbed the MLS and some other public sources of information to put these lists together. Let's just say myself, I'm an economic developer, and I click on a property that I've been trying to feature, and the way it's appearing here on this website, on the COSTEP website, maybe is missing some details that I would like to feature on that. I guess how would one go about getting those added? Would it be something that they need to go through the broker for, or how would that work?
That is a great question, and something that comes up often, and you're exactly right. It would need to go through the broker. So in just a minute, we're going to open up the property details and kind of go through that. So if you're a local economic developer and you notice that there's something in that property that maybe needs to be updated, maybe it used to be a 100-acre parcel, but 20 acres was leased and now it's only 80 acres. The best thing to do is to contact the actual broker who has that property listed and ask them to update it. Because that then when they update their website, that new data will be scraped into this technology, and so it will be updated here as well. And we always recommend updating at the source.
So Kathy, how often is that updated? So if, let's just say I was in that situation and I needed something updated and I talked to the broker or whatever, they get it updated this afternoon, how soon would it reflect on this COSTEP interactive?
It depends on the date. We sync from the property data provider on a weekly basis. So I think it's Sunday nights that it syncs in. So any changes that happen through the weekend will be reflected. But if a change is made on Monday, it won't be visible until the following Monday.
Okay, great.
Great. Thank you. Those are great. And I love anything that I can clarify as I'm going through, please jump in. Okay, so let's talk about those property details. You'll notice here on the left-hand side that we have, actually, I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna clear my filters. We're gonna go back to our default page view. And when you do, you can look at these property thumbnails and you'll notice that they're packed with information. There's an image. There is a property address. We see details about the size of the property. You also notice that this property is located in a federal opportunity zone. So properties that are located within a federal opportunity zone are automatically stamped with this icon on their property thumbnail. There's nothing that anybody has to do. The technology recognizes where these properties are located based on their latitude and longitude, and they automatically put this icon on the thumbnail. Same goes with the second icon, which is the nearest interstate exit. So the distance to the nearest interstate exit is automatically added for every property. So that's something that you don't have to calculate or worry about. It's automatically there. Now, keep in mind, this is not as the crow flies. This is actually traveling across roads. So that's the distance to nearest interstate exit. Same thing for distance to nearest international airport. And those are two data points that are often requested by site selectors. And so Guru just automatically calculates those for every property. Again, it's another way of leveling the playing field, making sure that good data is available for all properties. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this property. Oh, wait, before I do, let me just tell you one other thing. You'll notice here on the left-hand side, over the image, if you hover over these colored circles, you'll notice that these are telling you more information about that property, what the property subtype is. This particular property is an industrial property. This is a multifamily property. This property is vacant land. This property is also vacant land. So when you're scrolling through, it makes it very, very easy to see quickly what the primary use of that property is. Now, each property could have as many as 4 subtypes. These particular properties on top only have a single subtype associated with them, and that's probably pretty typical. But it is possible, just so you know, that you could have, a property that's industrial and vacant land. I mean, you could have two potential subtypes listed there. So, lots of information included in the property thumbnail. I'm going to click on a property.
So Kathy, while you're clicking on that property, we had a question pop up, and it's going to lead to a couple others. But so the question is, who is the third party that uploads the properties? Can we upload properties ourselves? And if you want to put this towards the end, we can, or we can jump into that detail now if you'd like.
Sure. Good question. The property data provider that COSTEP has an agreement with is Resimplify. They're a company, they do great work. We work with them with many clients across the country. And they are developing a way, and I don't know that it's finalized now, that by contacting them, it's possible to update property data. Right now, they're still recommending that you go through the brokers to get that broker to update it through the brokers. I think in the near future, there may be another way to update it via Resimplify, but at this point, it's through the brokers. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And as far as them uploading themselves, we'll get to that at the end. But I will say, I mean, I'm going to ask the question now, if they upload themselves, is it possible to have duplicate properties there? Let's just say that I don't like what my broker is doing, right? And I have this tool available to me. COSTEP's offering this to me for free, or it's within my reach here, and I don't like what the broker's doing, and for whatever reason, they're not being responsive. Can I create a duplicate profile of the same property?
And that is totally up to COSTEP, because it's Rick and Adam that are providing this service, so they get to make all decisions on what properties are included here. So I will tell you that other clients do allow that, and some clients don't. It's just completely up to COSTEP's discretion if that's something that you want to do, because then if you did manually enter that property, you could really fill it out with lots of great information if you didn't feel like there was enough information included.
Right. All right. Good enough. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. That's it for the questions for now? Perfect. Okay.
We're good.
Good. Okay. So you'll notice that when I clicked on that property thumbnail, a couple things happened. The first is that the technology zoomed into that property location on the map. The second is the property details populated here on the left-hand side. So lots and lots of information here. The first thing you'll notice is this large media gallery. If you click on the media gallery, you have access to all the images that are associated with that particular property. But you also have access to, if there's video for property, video can be included here, whether that's drone video or for some buildings, perhaps 360-degree interior video. It's really great for virtual site visits to be able to access the technology and use, with video to really show flyovers of a particular property. So this is the media gallery here. As far as visualizing the property, there's also up here at the top a link to the street view. So if there's a street view available for the property, you can link to it very quickly and automatically from the street view link. You never have to look for the street view link. It's always there and it's automatically added. So this is the property. This is the street view link that's generated for this particular property. So just another way of visualizing the property. So we really try to include as much information as publicly available right here with the property, so that it reduces the work that you as an economic developer has to do, because everything is here. Come to one place and you find everything you're looking for. Okay, so you'll notice here's a share link. So you can actually share a link directly to this property as well. So if you open up the property thumbnail and select that share link, now if I were to copy this bit.ly link, if someone were to click on it, when they do, they would open up to this exact page with the details here on the left and the location on the on the right. So very easy way to do that. Also, you'll notice that this property can be shared with one click via social media. And it looks like we're going to have to update our Twitter logo now to an X because that seems to be happening.
Yeah, how soon before that's updated on that?
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's a lawsuit over whether they can use the X. So I think we're going to hold it with the bird until we know they're using the X for sure.
So just everybody moving forward, just know that we're still using the old logo. We don't know what's going to happen with the Twitter logo, but
we don't. Yeah, that's true. Okay, you can also, you'll notice, directly download a CSV of all of the property details. So I'm going to go through all the different property fields that are available. But if you wanted a CSV of all those property details, you can one click generate that and export that. And you can also, let's say, as I showed you an example of that property search where we had 30 sites available that meet your criteria between 10 and 20 acres or what have you. You can, when you select that share link, if you want to share that link to that filtered search, you also can download a CSV of the property data of all of those properties. And in fact, from the front end of the technology, if you select share, you can also download a CSV of all 690 properties if you wanted all of them. Or you could filter for your county and download a CSV of your county data. And that might be helpful if you wanted to look through it and make sure all the data was up to date and exactly how you wanted it to be. And if you wanted to make any changes, to notify the broker about downloading a CSV to look through, that is a really easy way to do it. So lots of availability to share your data. Another thing that I want to mention is this share link is deep linked. So what I mean by that is it allows you to share whatever the view in Guru is. And Guru allows you to develop highly configured views for sharing. So let's say you want to share this property, but you want to share it with a satellite imagery background. Guru actually provides 13 different base maps that you can choose from. Here on the right-hand side, this was that home button I said that gets you quickly back to the home screen or to the home extent, opening extent. Right above it is this base map selector. We're currently in the navigation base map. That's the default base map, but there's a whole list of base maps you can choose from, including satellite imagery, and the imagery hybrid actually has some street location included on it. So if you wanted to share a link to this property and but you wanted it to be a satellite imagery base map that you're sharing instead of the navigation base map, just make sure to select that base map before you hit share. Now when you select that share link, this is a different link than we were looking at before, and this link contains this satellite imagery base map. It also, importantly, is sensitive to the zoom level. So I zoomed in, I could zoom in even more. And when I create the link now, again, a different link because I'm zoomed in more. And when you create that link, the exact view that you have on that map, that is what the recipient is going to see when they click on that link. So you have a lot of control. You can control the base map, the zoom level, all of that. In fact, there's other tools over here that you can use to customize your view even more. So I'm going to go back to the navigation base map because I think I liked how things kind of pop on that. And here we are. Let's continue looking at the property details. There is a property brochure, I should tell you, that is generated for every property. Let's generate one very quickly. This is a PDF brochure. So if you wanted to pull together nice looking brochures for all of your properties, they're already generated here. They've got the property details here on the left-hand side, as well as images here. So if you don't have an available brochure for properties, it's very easy to generate them right here just by selecting property brochure. As a new property is added, a brochure is automatically created for it. It's coded in HTML. There's nothing anyone ever has to do. Those brochures are always there and available to anyone downloading information. As we scroll down, you can see the available property details that are coming in. Here's the broker information right here, the broker contact. So if you felt like this property needed to be updated for some reason, you could contact the broker directly and say, hey, by the way, this property is now only 8 acres. It's no longer 10 acres or whatever it is that's listed. And ask them if they would update their listing, and then that would update into this technology that way. Also, under services and utilities, if there's information included, that would be listed here, as well as transportation, which includes the nearest international airport, any rail access, port access, etc., would be included under transportation. Go back to their property details. Now, as a little teaser for what's going to be coming down the pike, COSTEP is planning for your next meeting to do an additional training on some of the deeper analysis that's available with Guru to investigate demographic and workforce data. And that is accessible here under analysis. So this is something that we're going to go through, how to run a drive time analysis to access available workforce or available demographic variables. That's all available for every property here under analysis. And what's nearby is also available. And this shows you points of interest or amenities within a specific drive time. Again, this is a feature that really brings equity to the technology and to the playing field, because it allows more rural areas where people might assume, well, gosh, there's nothing out there, to be able to actually show, yes, look, there actually are things here. These are amenities. These are points of interest within a specified drive time of some of these rural properties, and it really helps to showcase the advantages of all areas. So that's available here too. We're going to talk about that next time we get together at a future meeting.
Yeah, it'll be in a couple of months probably, but there's just we covered all in one session, and I'm sure everybody here would agree that it's just a lot of information to take on in one session. So we're splitting it up in two. But we'll get that. Once we have a day for that, we'll get that out to you. But Kathy, were you going to go into some of the other features in terms of the superimposing of properties or buildings and that kind of thing?
Absolutely. We're going to head into that now. I just wanted to kind of show where those other tools are available. So thank you, Rick, because one of the next things that I want to talk about are some of the ways that you can enhance the property data that comes into Guru. And this is something that Rick can do directly on these properties. And let me show you. I'm actually going to open up another site. This is an Atlanta site, and I want to show you some of these features here. Guru allows you to really stage your properties. Similar to if you were to list your home for sale, you're going to stage your home, make it look as good as possible, show the best features of your home, whatever that may be. When you're listing these commercial, industrial, retail, office properties, you really want to do the same thing. And Guru provides tools that can be done right within Guru to really show the best features of your properties. Guru allows you to add 3D buildings to properties. It allows you to add something called property layers. Property layers show really important information, whether that's infrastructure, broadband information, all that types of data can be added to your property so that it shows up with your property. So to give you an example of what that is, I'm gonna jump back to COSTEP for a second, because what I want to do is explain kind of what layers are. For those of you who may not be familiar with GIS, GIS is a mapping tool, which is what this is. We are a GIS platform, but your local municipalities, your communities, your utilities, all use GIS to map their data, whether it's water and sewer or electric utilities, what have you. That data is mapped on a GIS, and it's actually all mapped on a platform called ArcGIS Online, which is built on Esri's platform, just like our technology is built on Esri's platform. So they can speak to each other really well. There's a wonderful integration between what your local GIS departments are mapping and our technology. It allows us to show that data in our technology. And that data is included here under the layers menu. So if you were to click on layers on the map, you'll see that you have access to a lot of information locally. That's really important. At the top, we have incentives. I'm going to open up that. You can very quickly select the Federal Opportunity Zone layer, and you can see exactly where that Federal Opportunity Zone is located within COSTEP's region. So if I were to click on a specific polygon, I can see the underlying data. All of Guru's layers are interactive, so you can click on them to view more. So this is telling us what the census tract is and more details about this specific Federal Opportunity Zone. So we have incentives. You can view new market tax credit, hub zones, etc. Under infrastructure, lots of great details here. You can view airport proximity, rail proximity. In fact, I'm going to open up my filters menu. This is a little trick that you can do. You can click to hide your properties. I'm going to close this. When you do that, all the property icons are moved from the map. And let's say I wanted to look at that freight network within the COSTEP region. So I've just turned on that layer, and I can click on a particular line to learn more about it. I can also see, so this is, actually this doesn't tell me who the railroad owner is, it just tells me it's freight network, but it shows me the connected network. And here, it gives me more information about the railroad owner. Let's pick another one that actually may have information in the pop-up. This one is owned by Union Pacific, and the rights are with BNSF. So just a little bit more information about that particular network. But if you were wanting to show the proximity of this rail to an existing property, you could do so. And that's where I'm going to talk about these property layers that you can actually, if you have a property that's adjacent to one of these freight lines, you can actually add this layer to the property so that it opens automatically when that property is open. And I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But I want to give you a little more context for what's available. There are port layers, including some local layers such as border crossings, which give information about crossings into Mexico. Here you can see that crossing names of the crossings, and if you click on the icon, you can see more information as far as what the timing is of when those border crossings are open. Sometimes in these webinars, these things take a little more time to open. Here we go. This tells you with the toll bridge and where it's located and the hours of operation. Anyway, lots of information is included about this particular layer. Ports, important port information. That's an important part of the COSTEP region. Under utilities, we have electric transmission line information, interstate pipelines. So these layers are available to you and to anyone coming to the site, and you can show how close your properties are to this important information, all here in one place. Guru is really designed to house all of this local information. So here you can see we have a 138 kilovolt overhead line owned by AEP Texas Central. So,
Kathy, can that be included on the property brochure? If they generate a property brochure, like let's just say they're generating a brochure for a specific entity whose one of their primary concerns is the overhead power line or something along those lines, can they do?
In the property brochure, those images are set based on what is in the media gallery. That's where it pulls from. But there is a print widget here on the right-hand side. So I'm going to turn the property filters back on. And let's say, I'm going to close that you wanted to show your working with this property and you wanted to show the proximity to this electric transmission line as well as this, here we've got the legend open. You could actually use the print widget here on the right hand side, and you could add a title to this, transmission lines around property, this is Cedar Street property, or whatever you wanted to add as the title. And you can actually export this as a high quality PDF. It will include the legend and it would show the property. Now, if you change the base map, you could print and export that with a satellite imagery base map if you wanted. So you can share it that way. So it would be an additional document that you would add as well as your property brochure.
Okay. No,
The only way to get that information into your property brochure is if you were to take a snip or export this image and then upload it with the property.
No, that's great.
You know,
As long as
add it as an attachment to that.
they're able to share that information through a document, then that's
Yep,
awesome.
absolutely.
Okay, great.
So I just wanted to show you a little bit about what types of layers are available. Broadband information, there's land cover, wetlands information. So I would just really encourage you to come in and take a look at the data that's already here. A lot of this data is national data, and sometimes people are surprised that we have electric transmission lines. This is national data that's available publicly. Local utilities tend to be much more hesitant to show that data, but this data is available and it's kept updated in ArcGIS Online and so updated in your technology. So we only have a few minutes left and I want to show you what Rick was alluding to before, but I wanted to kind of explain what's available in the layers menu before I go into how you can actually add those layers to a specific property. And I was talking about staging your home and staging your properties, and that's done with property layers or assigning specific layers of importance to specific properties or adding 3D buildings. So here's an example here that I want to show you of a property that has done that. So I'm going to click on the property thumbnail. And when I do, you're going to notice a few things are happening. The first thing you'll notice is that the technology automatically turns on 3D mode. It automatically loads the satellite imagery base map. It automatically tilts the screen, zooms in, loads property layers, as well as loading a 3D building that doesn't exist. So let's take a look at this property. We're in 3D mode. Here in the map are our 3D tools. I'm going to use these tools to just kind of fly around this property and get kind of an overhead view. This is a 3D building. As I said, it doesn't actually exist, but it's here because it shows a potential use case for how someone might be able to load a building here and see it. And over here on the left-hand side, you can see that it's actually added as a layer. I can toggle this building on and off, and it disappears. Shows you what the property really looks like. But here you'll notice there are property layers. There's an electric transmission line layer and a freight network layer that are added to this property, showing the user exactly where these lines are located. Here is an electric transmission line that runs right across that property, and how wonderful that you make it readily apparent to anyone who comes to this property. When they click on the property thumbnail, they don't have to know how to add a 3D building. They don't have to know to open up the layers menu and click that electric transmission line layer. This layer automatically opens and shows everyone who's interested in this property that there's a 115 kilovolt overhead line that runs directly across this property. So it's just a wonderful way of staging your property to show the possibilities. You'll also notice that there's a property boundary drawn around this property. That's easily done from within Guru's admin panel as well. There's a freight network line. If I scroll out, I can see where this freight network line is located right here. So just lots of information included in this property. Okay, So
That,
we've covered a lot.
that warehouse, obviously that's pulled from a menu of some kind. Obviously, that's not.
It is. These are buildings that come with Guru. They're in the admin panel. They're free to use. Currently, there are 8 templated buildings to choose from, and it's just a simple within the admin panel. Click on the building, drop it on the property by dropping a pin, and the building appears. You can simple tools to adjust it, to orient it exactly how you want it to be. We're in the process of adding more. Currently, the building sizes are anywhere from 50,000 square feet up to 1 million square feet. So they're kind of larger industrial warehouses types of buildings. But we've had numerous clients who said, hey, I'd love a retail or an office building or something smaller for my more urban area, my downtown area. And so we're in the process of creating those and are going to make those available very soon.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to superimpose something like that, by all means, reach out to me and I can work with them and get that to you for a property that's listed there. However, before we go, we only have a few minutes left. For properties that are not listed there, we can add those for you. Just reach out to me, and we haven't gone through a whole lot of depth. But this goes back to the question I asked earlier: can we have duplicate properties on there, duplicate listings for the same property? And I know some of the economic developers out there won't do that because they don't want to steal the thunder, per se, of a broker that they're working with, but some may. Or there may be a property that's city owned that they don't want to go through a broker with, that they want to be able to feature on our website either way. If you want to do that, by all means, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with that and get that listed on the COSTEP property listing. And again, it's on the COSTEP website, but you can always create your bit.ly links to it, create your brochures, use those as you see fit, and those are for your use. You don't necessarily have to go ask us for permission to be printing those things, but if there's a property that you want to have listed, by all means, reach out to me, and we can certainly get that done. I'll go ahead and open it up for questions at this point. I know we're almost out of time and we wanted to keep it to an hour, but if there's a burning question out there, I don't see any other questions in the chat. But if anybody does have questions, by all means, let us know. I think there might be another question in the chat here. Hang on a second.
And just to let you know as well that Adam and Rick would like to, at some point in the future, as we mentioned, have another session where we talk about some of the other tools available. We've just kind of touched on the properties and what's available there, but I look forward to meeting with you again to show you how to access that workforce and demographic drive time information.
Yeah, so what, Kathy, we do have one last question. Well, it's not the last question. I'm sure there's other questions. And guys, I know we're running out of time. We're trying to keep it to an hour. That being said, if you do have other questions, by all means, just email me. I'll get the question answered for you if it's after the fact. But what about, the question we have is, what about zone classifications? Is there a layer for that?
I'm sorry, what was
zone classifications? Whether they're zoned agricultural, industrial.
Right, so there is not currently a zoning layer included. However, this menu is completely configurable. So I'm going to open up infrastructure and show you that under utilities, there's some local utilities such as water CCN and sewer CCN. If you have zoning layers available locally, they can be added. So we could add another category here that says zoning. If that's something COSTEP wants to do, this is COSTEP's technology. It's completely up to them what is added. But if that data is available, then we could certainly add another category and add zoning layers, because that's very helpful. Some of our clients have zoning, or they'll have parcel information. If you all have that information available, and Rick and Adam agree to incorporate that into the technology, by all means.
Now, Adam and I will get with you on that. I think it's a good idea because we do have a lot of areas down here that are still, this area was largely agricultural for a long time. So there's still some holdover on that, from that aspect in terms of the land zoning. So a lot of the land is still zoned agricultural. And a lot of people do it for tax purposes also.
Sure.
It's not just because they're farmers or ranchers, but there's tax benefits to it as well. So, but we'll definitely give you a confirmation on that here within a day or so.
That's great.
All right. Anybody else have any other questions? I know we're trying to keep this short. Again, Demrick, I know this is a lot of information. I do want to thank everybody for showing up this morning. I think you'll find this useful. And again, I cannot stress enough, I put my contact information in the chat there. So reach out to me if there's any questions at all on all this, because we want this to be utilized as much as possible. Again, like I mentioned earlier, COSTEP's had this on the website for quite some time. It's just it took a few clicks to get to it. So that's why we put it front and center for everybody to use. And that's why we have it there, because it's there for your use. Once again, thank you, everybody. If anybody has any other questions, speak now or hold your peace. If not, we will be getting the date for the next Friends of COSTEP meeting out. Adam, did you want to share anything with us before we come to close?
Yeah, be on that lookout probably towards the end of September. We wanted to get back on track. We were supposed to try to get this one out by June, but because of the transition that we had in staff, that delayed it a little bit. The other one on demographics, I really encourage you to, let others know, and if you can make it, make it. It has some great Esri reports, very professionally done, that can help, augment your efforts that you're doing in your communities. With that, I think we're ready to wrap up, Kathy. Thank you for your time and your knowledge that you're sharing with us, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
All right, we'll see everybody soon.
My
Everybody take
pleasure.
care. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.